Good morning, everyone. This is Leif Edmonds coming to you live from our living room in Mapleton, Utah for the One Team Global Facebook Live. It's our pleasure, myself and my wife Sharon, to be here on the Facebook Live once a month. So welcome as you're coming on board to the Facebook Live this morning. I hope that my wife comes on board as well, because everyone always says how much they love Cheryl, and that how much more interesting the Facebook Lives are when Cheryl is actually here. So I'm expecting her to be here at some point. She had some meetings this morning. That's what you say, right? When you don't show up for what you're supposed to be at, you say, "Well, I had some meetings." So that's where Cheryl is. Actually, she did have some meetings. So if she doesn't not get here, she told me I can just say whatever I want. But anyway, let me tell a little bit about our story, and then we're going to talk about Double D. If you saw the title today, Double D, depth and duplication. Double D is the phrase for today and the topic for today. I've really enjoyed the Facebook Lives this week. I thought yesterday was great, talking about when Derek talked about how, that title was great. One day can change your life. I wanted to know, okay, one day can change my life. What do I do? And it was about events. It was about how major events can change your life, and change your business and change your life. And even talked about how, someone, I think it was from Arizona, he called him on a Thursday night, and next Friday morning, the next day in the morning, he was in Provo, Utah, for a Team Elite University. Well, we all have that opportunity today, because there is Team Elite University tomorrow and Saturday, and it can be business changing, and it can be life changing for the people who are in the right place at the right time, and ready to receive what we all learn and receive at Team Elite University on a monthly basis, almost a monthly basis. So that is happening tomorrow. Hope to see a lot of you there. Let me talk for a minute about our story, because we started in the business. It's crazy. It's almost 16 years ago that we started in the business. Actually, August of 2002, I lost my job as a vice president of a software company, and had no idea what I was going to do, because the industry was really in tatters at the time, and so I wasn't able to replace my income in that industry. I would make about half of what I was making if I got another job. And luckily, we had two multi-millionaire new skin distributors in our neighborhood, and one of them talked to me about the business. And an event changed my life. We went to a global convention, not as distributors but as guests. I remember that it looked like everyone was happy. I remember it looked like people were, experiencing freedom. I remember it seemed like the company was growing. At the time, the company was doing about 800 million a year. So about a third of what it was doing previously, and a fourth of where we'll probably finish this year. Only 25% of where we are now as a company, or where we'll be at the end of the year as a company. And I remember the entertainment was Hootie and the Blowfish, and I thought, wow, this is crazy. We're going to a Hootie and the Blowfish concert at a convention. I remember seeing all these people walk across the stage as $1 million earners, $5 million earners, $10 million earners, $20 million earners, Team Elite, whatever that was, Blue Diamonds, all this stuff, all this success. And that event literally changed our lives, because from that event we started working in the business. We made a decision. We were able to get to executive after some trial, able to get to executive in a week, and then the next 4 weeks after that completely changed our business, completely changed our lives. We've been doing this now for almost 16 years. Most of the time it was me in the early days, because we have 5 children, and Cheryl was making sure the house was not torn down, and the kids were accomplishing what they needed to accomplish and everything else. Now we're empty nesters with 6 grandchildren, and we're having a great time working the business together. It's the most fun we've ever had. And And normally we do these calls together, but you know, Cheryl's under the cloak of invisibility this morning for some reason. Anyway, let's talk about Double D. We've got a few minutes here to talk about depth and duplication, and it's something that I've been working with people in my team, and we've got a good team in Latin America, and we've been talking with them, and especially with Velocity, you know, working in the depth of your business has always been the way to build a stable business. Has always been that way. I remember when I first started 16 years ago, it was like, okay, let's drive the line deep. And you know, we're gonna scratch the surface of the topic today. Go to YouTube and search on Nathan Rick's driving lines, and you can see all the details of what we're gonna talk about. But the concept is, you know, you drive a line deep and you have that line for possibly forever. Okay, if you can drive the line deep, it's not going to go away. That's what you want to do. You want to have lines that you could not kill if you wanted to. And you need to understand that from the beginning. Now, the only way to drive lines deep and have stable long-term lines in the business is through duplication. You know, you cannot do it all yourself. You need to be able to train people. You need to have a system like System 7. And as you teach people how to do the business, not just from, you know, trainings and things like that, but actually getting in the trenches and working and finding your leaders, and then working, holding hands and working with those leaders, then you duplicate leadership down in your organization. Now, you know, with Velocity, we are rewarded even more for working in the depth. I mean, it used to be that, you know, that the fact is most Blue Diamonds and Team Elites and $1 Million Circle members have 1 to 3 power legs. You know, there's many $1 million, $5 million, $10 million earners that only have 1 power leg. It's amazing, right? If you had 1 power leg that just took off, great. You know, that's amazing, and congratulations. Okay, the majority have 1 to 3. So in the old compensation plan, we used to have to get 12 or 15 executives wide to maintain and get paid on our 1 to 3 legs deep. So, you know, it actually didn't make sense. It actually was, you know, we were working with, let's say, Blue Diamond, right? Let's say I have 3 power legs, and I'm working to maintain the 9 weak legs instead of spending all my time on the 3 power legs. In order to get paid the 6 levels deep, I had to work with those 9 and maintain 12 wide. Now, with Velocity, I need 6. Okay, in fact, if you saw Nathan Ricks a few weeks ago, he had a board or a slide up there that kind of showed, you know, here's my 6 executives, here's what's going on underneath each 6 of those, here's how I'm driving each of the 6 legs deep so that I have a stable business, right? That's what we need. We need 6 legs, 6 executives, and then drive each of those executives deep. Now, if we drive each of those executives deep, we're golden, right? You drive each of those executives 6 executives deep, you know, that are legs that you couldn't kill. Okay, they don't all have to be power legs, right? A power leg is Blue Diamond over Blue Diamond over Blue Diamond. Hey, here's Cheryl. Come on, Cheryl. Cheryl, come here. We've been talking about you, honey. She says she's not prepared. She forgot. Come sit down. Honey, have a seat. Oh, she's going to do her hair real quick. I'll keep talking. Okay, I'm nice because I'm not turning the camera. Normally, I would turn the camera and just say, hey, it is what it is. But, okay, I'll be nice because I don't want to pay the price after. Anyway, let's talk about 6 legs. That's really what you need. So what you should have, as Nathan talked about a few weeks ago, is a whiteboard with your 6 names. Now, if you have 6 executives already, great. What are the names and who are the people that are underneath those legs? If you don't have 6 legs, that's okay. Put your 6 boxes anyway, And as you get executives or people in qualification, you can start filling in the names in those boxes. But you're visualizing what you want your business to be. With 6 executives now, I can be a blue diamond and get paid on 6 levels of executives, 6 generations of executives. Okay, now, we talk about 6 executives, and you know that velocity encourages us to drive depth, because we have to have 6 executives, and one of the executives has to have at least 10,000 in its organization, 10,000 points. One of them has to have at least 20,000 points in the organization, and one has to have at least 30,000. To become team elite, you still need to have 6, but just add another one that has 40,000. Okay, so a 10, a 20, a 30, and a 40,000. Now, you know, that's really achievable, and we're seeing more people become Blue Diamond and Team Elites now. But there's more to this game than just the title, right? There's always been more to this game than the title, okay, in my opinion. My opinion, because I had to replace income right from the start. I had to replace a healthy income and be able to pay for, you know, the lives of 5 children going through high school and college and everything else, and house payments and car payments. You know, I was worried about money, not necessarily title. So I had to figure out where I had to be to get paid on the most amount of volume, right? And so it's the same thing now. You know, you can be a Blue Diamond with 10, 20, 30, what's that, 60,000 points. Okay, you can be a Blue Diamond with 60,000 points, and you got to have at least 3 other legs. Those have to be at least 2,000. So, you know, 70,000 points, basically, plus including your own circle group. You could be Blue Diamond. And, you know, if you just do that by 5%, you could make $3,000 a month. Or 4,000, something like that. Okay, well, that's not the average. The average is over 50,000. The average of last year for a Blue Diamond was over $50,000 a month. Okay, so how do you get to $50,000 a month? Well, you need to have $1 million in organizational volume to get paid $50,000 a month. Okay, that's a long ways away from 60,000, right? From a 10, a 20, a 30. You know, so what you do is you have your plan to get there, but to really get there, depending on what your goals are financially, you need to drive that as deep as you possibly can, and you need to duplicate leadership. You need to duplicate Blue Diamonds and Team Elites and Blue Diamonds and Team Elites and Blue Diamonds and Team Elites. And by doing that, then, you will watch your organizational volume go from 60,000 to 100,000 to 200,000 to 300,000 to 500,000 to 800,000 to $1 million, right? That's the goal. So if the average income for a Blue Diamond is 50,000 a month, you don't get there right away, right? You know, a brand new Blue Diamond is not, in most cases, is not going to be making that kind of income. Normally, in the past, this was before velocity, but in the past, we would say, you know, it's about 7 years into that process that your organization has matured enough, so it's got the 800 to 1 million points of volume, so you're getting paid the 40 to 50,000 a month. Okay, but you know, if you're not concerned, if you're not duplicating the depth and leadership in the depth, then you're never going to hit those large organizational volumes. Okay, so we need to train right from the start, working in the depth, driving lines. We need to train that right from when we sign people up. We need to get into their circles as soon as we can. You know, when we do their training, when they launch, and we, you know, maybe they're doing social media or whatever to get started, as soon as we upgrade them, okay, to here's your goals and here's what you want to do, and you want to get on the trips and you want to make long-term money, that kind of stuff, we need to make sure we have names and we're working in the depth, okay? Not just for them, but for us too. We don't want a brand new distributor, brand new prospect to, oh, everyone, my wife Sharon, she's here. Did you forget?
I had a great time at the temple.
Did you forget?
I forgot the time.
Oh, the time. Time got away. Time got away. So, this is why you need to drive lines, because sometimes people just forget. they forget to do the business, so you go work with people underneath them. So I go work with our kids.
I love you.
So you just go work with people underneath them. But my point is this: you have to work in the depth. Okay, go watch the Nathan Ricks. I'm not saying just take time out and just sit there and watch it. You know, be working as it's playing in the background. But watch the Nathan Ricks driving lines, and he explains it in depth. That was before velocity, but the principle is the same. The only thing that's happened here is the compensation plan has now changed and enhanced to really model what we've been doing always to be successful in the business. We've always known that driving lines and getting in the depth is what's going to pay off for the long term and build a stable income. Now, the other thing I was saying is that you need to be doing this right from the start. Okay, it is a major waste if someone comes into the business and then they drop out of the business and we never went down in the depth underneath them. Okay, we never found their 10 or their 20 and their 10 and their 20 and their 10 or their 20, right? So instead of just having one, we had the opportunity to talk with hundreds of people, and we never did that. So one came in and one went out instead of one coming in and 100, giving us 100 people, a pool of 100 people to find the ones who really get it. You know, I've always heard and agree with the fact that our goal is not to motivate people. Our goal is to find motivated people. And it's just a mathematical calculation that we're not going to find as many motivated people in our front levels. They're going to be down 3, 4, 5, 6 plus levels because mathematically the pool is just much bigger in the depth. So with that, that's what I had to say today. So Cheryl, it's over to you.
It's so true. Oh, that is absolutely right. And I don't know what you've already said.
Doesn't matter.
I just had a leisurely time at the temple, but
yeah,
oh my
doesn't
gosh.
matter.
Okay, so seriously, when Leaf explained that part of the business to me and I switched over, starting to ask people, you know, for, you know, who do you know, who do you know, who do you know, and driving the lines, it changed my thought process and really, really helped grow the business, because that's the bottom line of how to make the most of the compensation plan and to meet, like Leaf said, hundreds of new people. And if you don't, you're missing out on all those people that they know. Like he said, you rarely find someone first level that gets it and goes. So drive that line, find the people, and go for it.
So let's finish up. We're over time. Let's finish up just with taking theory and putting it into practice. So,
Love it.
So Cheryl, when you are training someone, upgrading
Yes.
them when they're ready to, you know, not just make fast money, but they want to make long-term money as well, qualify for the trips.
Yes.
And you're training these people.
Yes.
What do you actually say to them to get into their circle, to get into people they know?
Give me 10 names.
Because it can be awkward. It can be awkward, and they can be like, "Oh, well, I don't want to do that right now," or whatever. So, so what do you do?
It's just part of my process.
Okay.
I just say, give me 10 names, and we literally sit there and write them down.
Okay, so
and then we talk to the 10 people.
So in some cases, I do that too. So in some cases, they just rattle off 10 names, and it's no big deal.
Yep.
In some cases, at the other end of the spectrum, they don't want to give any names because they're totally unsure of it. In some cases, they give you 2 or 3 and say, you know, I'll have to get back to you. So how do you help those that give you no names or give you just a couple names? What do you do to get more names out of them and to get further into their circle to help them with their business?
Right. So if they've told me that they want to build a team and they want to go for it and make the trips, then that's part of the process. They have to build a team. They have to go that step. So it takes the uncomfortableness out of it, or, you know, that's what they said they wanted in the first place. So we go through and we get the names, and we, you know, it's just a reminder. If they don't want to build a team, then they're doing fast money. If they do, then they're doing the long term, let's get your team going. And it's easy to help them if they've decided to do it, if they've decided to take that next step.
Okay, great. And there's a question here,
Okay.
and it's a great follow-up question, and then we're going to finish because we're over time. They say...
I'm sorry for taking so long.
Yeah, Cheryl took so long. So the question is, what do you then do with the names? You know, if you then contact those people with them,
Right.
what do you say?
Well, you talk about the business and the opportunity and what you're doing. It's just you introduce yourself and you talk together. Usually the person will introduce me and talk about why, you know, if you're telling someone that you have this amazing opportunity and you think they're amazing and you want to share it with them, they're going to be excited to hear what you have to say. So if you start off like that, then they'll be all ears, especially if the person has thought highly enough of them to recommend them to you. And so you're calling them together, and it's a win-win. If you're like humming and hoeing and blah, 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 then it doesn't go well. But if you're, you know, complimentary and they're complimentary to you, it's just like how you build somebody up. If someone's building me up and saying we have this amazing opportunity and we thought of you, and then you take it from there and explain the opportunity and get them signed up and then get their names.
Yeah, so I know you're asking the question, other people are thinking that, is it can be unnerving for you as a newer distributor or even as an old timer to just get on the phone or get on video calls with people you don't even know that they know, and you have your brand new distributor sitting there and they're looking at you to say, okay, I'm going to watch the pro, and you're going, I'm not the pro, but you got to act like you're the pro. Just do it. It gets more comfortable every time you do it, and just tell the story. Just tell the Nu Skin story. Why Nu Skin? Why now? You know, the simple thing is, hey, you know, working with John. John suggested we give you a call. He thought you may be interested in making some extra money as well. You know, we want to tell you about what we're doing, and then tell them about what you're doing. Tell them the Nu Skin story.
From home, from phone, from wherever you are. Freedom.
Whatever got them excited, because it can be the fast money, it can be the long-term money, it can be the trips, it can be whatever, working around their kid's schedule, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then, you know, say the same things.
Absolutely.
Tell the story. And understand that you're doing this for more than one reason. You're doing this to get into their circle, okay? Remember, you can't say the wrong thing to the right people, so you're not going to mess it up. And you're doing this to train them so they feel comfortable in sharing that story as well, okay? And by the time you've done that with, let's say, their top 10, they're already trained and they know exactly what to do now. And they can then duplicate that. Remember, depth and duplication. They can then duplicate that throughout their organization. On the other hand, let's say you don't do that. What do you think's going to happen? We just tell them, okay, go do this stuff. They just go do it. They get their teeth kicked in by talking to a few people, and then they're gone. And you never got into any depth, okay?
Yep.
So you got to work in the depth. And then when you find that person on their first level, the right one who's motivated already, then do the same thing with them. And you just keep doing it until you see them slowly, gradually duplicating exactly what you're doing. And then you can take the hands off and let them run, and then you just come in for backup support. And that's how the business works.
Yes. Speak from the heart and don't think about yourself. Think about them, and you will say the right things.
Okay, everyone, that's it. We're over time. Thank you, Cheryl, for showing up. And we will see many of you at Team Elite University tomorrow. It's not too late to get here. We heard the story yesterday. Someone from Arizona came Thursday night, heard about it, was here Friday morning. You can all do the same thing. We will see you there. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Bye.